let us all bow, please. You can stand if you like, but you don't have to. Eternal Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together. We thank you for this great assembly and all the people that you have gathered in this place. We trust and we believe that we're all here by divine assignment and by the appointment that you have set. We pray that you correct our faults and our minds, and as we bring together the skill sets and the resources and even the experiences that we all share, we pray that you would make it mix together and produce the outcomes that you desire. And that at the end of the day, and all that we do, we would get the glory and the honor. We also pray that you would bless the food that we're partaking of, let it be nourishment for our bodies and draw for our souls. And please take special care of those that don't have nourishment at this hour, that we might be merciful unto their needs. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Hold on, David, 1 second.
Thank you, Greg. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody at StMaryParish. This is a great turnout. I want to thank Dr. Gail Hamilton for putting on this public forum. I want to thank all the public officials that have actually come out today. I know you have busy schedules and your time is important. I really appreciate it. Great turnout. We're here today to talk about two important topics: teenage pregnancy and sexually transmitted disease, of which Louisiana and StMaryParish are two highly ranked. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, Mrs. Dr. Gail came off and discussed this issue. I was not informed about this. I was really unaware. Of course, I knew it was out there. I knew we had problems. I didn't realize how high the rank StMaryParish in Louisiana actually was. And what's sad about it is, in our busy lives, in our day-to-day activities, we're concerned about the economy, concerned about all the problems we have, we lose sight, as so often we do, about the little things. And so I want to thank Dr. Gail for bringing this before us so that we can refocus on this important issue. And we really need to take part of this. So thank you again for coming out today.
Good morning. It is indeed a great turnout. So excited. Our children need it. Our families and our country, our state, and parish need it. And I've got Lucy's just seeing all of you here because it's obvious that we all realize the situation we're in. When I was growing up, kids were kids. Life was simple. You spoke to your parents, your friends, and your family. And that may sound funny, but that's exactly what we did. We spoke to them. And we go to the grocery, not Walmart, it was a local family store. And usually they had 2 at a couple of blocks. And you wonder, how in the world did they make it? Because we're family and we're close. And it makes a difference. The world is different today, for sure. Gossip, we didn't do Facebook. We did a party line. But I'm not going to get into that until you ask your parents and grandparents. I'm showing my age right now. The community was definitely different. The entire community worked together to provide a safe, compassionate, and healthy environment for our young students, our young children, our young teens, young men and women to grow up in and to really develop into human beings that were usable, who made a strong structure in our community where we did thrive, and we did thrive in health, we thrive in faith, we thrive in education, we thrive in business. Our community is different today. Usually, the want to become money people. Not doctors so much, not lawyers so much, but superstars, sports figures. Not so attainable. A long shot, a full court shot, and last night, you know that those didn't happen too often, and not at all last night. Life has changed, and technology has. Today, truly, the rates for teen pregnancy and STDs are out of the box across the nation. Right now, St. Mary Parish and Louisiana are leading the top percentages in this category. We would like to call your attention to the symbolism that you see around the room. We have the pillars, we have the tables representing the different components of family and community family, our community house. We're going to see how that's all going to happen and come together. It's a symbolism. The tables are arranged to show the integration of various important and vital components of our family and our community house. Faith, education, law enforcement, military, healthcare, community house, support foundation, I lost my place, community organizations, businesses, all of these components are interrelated, are connected. Now look at the columns. They represent the support, the foundation, typically used to support our homes. In the center of the community house are adolescents, y'all raise your hands, and our young adults. Raise your hands. You see what they said? And we thank them for being here today. They sit in the center, as they should be, surrounded by various community components. That should be their guide for spirituality, education, assistance, protection, employment, and to keep them healthy. But as the teen pregnancy and the STD data indicates, that connection between various community components is broken. If you look closer at the chains on the table, it contains the names and aspiration of adults and young adults. That broken connection is symbolized by the broken chains scattered around the tables between the columns in the room. Connections, foundations are broken and needed to be repaired. That's why we have different categories. The columns are different levels. You know about those. We have foundation problems in our houses. You know what I say. Okay, I'm hurrying. The connections and foundations right now in this community house, it's broken, and that's why we're here today. We will now hear from representatives on the impact these high rates of teen pregnancy and STDs connection components within our community. So we need you guys to listen carefully to our speakers. Our first person will be Donna Meyer of St. Mary Parish Chamber of Commerce. She is representing business. Donna, and I tell you what, this is the hardest working woman in St. Mary Parish. Thank you, Lord. Good morning again. I'm Donna Meyer with St. Mary Parish Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome you again. What a wonderful group here to support such a worthy cause, our youth. And again, everybody knows the Chamber is about business, but it's also about making sure that our youth get the very best possible education, and we're here to support that. The youth today, of course, is our future workforce, and we know there's many hurdles for them, as we just talked about. Many more than we get through it in a few minutes. But we know that, so we're here to help them look at all the possibilities and opportunities to be a better future for them and their success. The Chamber stands behind all the programs that increase the choices and allows our children to make new decisions for their success. Thank y'all for coming out. See, I'm going to use some of her time. Now we're going to use community. My dear sweet Miss Almeja Franklin of St. Mary Community Action Agency.
I'm not going to say good morning, I'm going to say good afternoon. It's now afternoon. I want to thank the sponsor of this program for allowing us the opportunity for just a moment to talk about the teen pregnancy and the impact on the community. I come from the perspective of families and crisis and also children, preschool children, and head start children that we work with and their families. I did some research in preparation for today and I found out that Louisiana is rated 5th. And they're not calling it so much unwanted pregnancies, but unattended pregnancies because the children, many of them didn't attend to, they didn't think about getting pregnant. But I say all that to say that from the community action perspective, we like to talk to our children about all of those things that are relevant. And even though they're small children, we want to make sure that they understand as they grow. We think that you need to start early, that it does take a village to raise your children. And as I look at this group today, I know that if all of us come together, all of us connect, we can make a difference. I gave it my start and I prayed about it, and the thought came to me that we need to take our communities back. We need to work with our young people, and we need to change the mindset. There was a time when we grew up with teen pregnancy was just a thought. You could count the number of girls in any given setting that would get pregnant before they got married, before they got their education, or did whatever they had to do. That has changed, and society accepts that now. Not only they accept it, they promote it. So I still say we need to take our community back. We need to work with our public officials, all of the agencies, the schools. We need to support young people and give them help alternatives to teen pregnancy or unwanted pregnancies. I'm just excited about the role that the community action and Head Start may play. Whatever role that is, we stand willing and able to support you. We'll be there for you. As I take my seat again, I thought about it takes an entire village to raise children. And if one piece out of that village is not functioning, is not available, then it's not going to work so well. So I challenge each and every one of you, I encourage you to get on this bandwagon, and let's do whatever we can to make St. Mary Parish number 1 as it relates to not unwanted or unintended pregnancies, but having the best community we can have for our young people. The next person to come up is going to be education, and Mr. Tyler, the principal at Franklin Senior High, is going to bring you some thoughts on the school. Thank you again, and again, stay engaged. Let's take our community together.
Thank you, Franklin. Good evening. Of course, I'm not the person with time for that. Over there was not able to make today, so on behalf of the St. Mary Parish School System, I'd like to also recognize our superintendent, Mr. Leonard Amado, who is in attendance. I would also like to commend each and every one of you all for taking the opportunity to be here this afternoon. I know that we all have been doing a whole lot of other things besides being here, but it is extremely important and vital that we as a community reach back down to our children. As a former principal at Franklin High School, I had many opportunities to witness firsthand, and I don't want to say it's devastation because I firmly believe that unless the Lord allows it to happen, it can't happen. So I understand that also. I also understand that we have to be careful when it comes And until we as individuals begin to address the society issues that we as a community and that we as a children are facing, this is not going to change. I've said for years and years and years that we as the government can throw all the money that we want to at a program. That's fine and it's good. But until we get down to the root causes of what's taking place, none of this is going to change. I would also like to commend this for that. I remember way back in 1997, 1998, she had come up with an idea. We came up with an idea basically, and I had an opportunity to speak to Dr. Hamilton about this, that as a school system, if we could have incorporated daycare centers in our schools. So for those young ladies that got pregnant and had children, they no longer have an excuse that they couldn't go to school because they had to take care of their babies. Okay, we alleviated that. You got a baby that's life and happens, you come to school, we institute daycare centers, it becomes a part of your curriculum where you have to take a course, you have to go and take care of your baby, but still get your education. We presented that to the school board way back then, and nobody wanted to hear anything that we had to say. First of all, because it was coming out of Franklin High School. But can you imagine that if that program had been instituted way back then, how much further we as a society would be here today in this community? So we always ask the question, is there anything good that can come out of St. Mary Parish? Of course there's something good, because when you look around here, each and every one of us are great because we come from the Most High, we come from the King. And so again, I don't want to take a lot of time, I just want to commend, I just want to strongly encourage you that it takes each and every one of us laying together as these chains to work hand in hand. Because if it's not for us, then our children have no future. And we're always complaining about what the youth and what the society of our youth are doing today. As we pass and we may be here, we see kids hanging out on corners. What are we doing to help them? What are we doing besides complaining? Those individuals that's in that position, what are we doing? Because I believe in the commercial, there was a flam off field, the man said you can pay me now or you can pay me later. Some kind of way we gonna have to pay. So why don't we start addressing this when they're young? And as elected officials, we need y'all help because as a school system, believe me, we can't do it alone. But when we have a band of individuals coming together and speaking on behalf of the entire community, it makes it so much easier. Because after a while, it's just all and just smiling, it's just talking, nobody's listening to that anymore. But man, you all are the voices, for the solemn voices who sits at this table in the middle of this room. And hopefully one day those individuals that are sitting at that table, they're going to aspire to be us. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be depositing back into our children because they truly are our future. And so again, I just want to say thank you. Don't give up. I know it gets hard. It gets tiresome. And oftentimes it appears as though nobody's listening. It appears as though you're fighting the battle all by yourself. But then you also be reminded that the Lord says that the battle is not ours. That the battle belongs to Him. And when you come to that realization that you just give it to Him, but He also said faith without works is dead. So we also have to do some work too. And once we see that we are truly working towards His common cause and towards His common good, and I'm telling you, it's going to be all right. And as bad as things seem, and as bad as things may appear to be on the horizon, always be mindful that there's a God who's in control. And He never sleeps, and He never slumbers. And Dr. Hamilton, on behalf of you and your entire staff, I just want to commend you all for the work that you're doing, to our elected officials that's in here, to all everybody that's in here. Thank you all. I know you're going to get Dr. Wilson, I know y'all going to thank you enough. But man, we sincerely appreciate everything that you all do because everything that you do directly impacts the St. Mary Parish school system. So on that note, again, thank you all for attending today.
And now, Dr. Gary Wills, CEO of StMaryParishprojectconnectmeeting1.
Ricky was asking about good things that come out of St. Mary Parish. Those are two very good things. I was just with the lady with Marshall Machine, and I started back, I guess, about 25 years ago when we went to a conference in Arkansas. We did information about school-based health clinics. And I'm proud to say that StMary's clinic has the first school-based health clinic in the whole region of New York. And if those of you who know me, more recently last year, got a mobile van, and that van is visited every school in St. Mary Parish. And I want to recognize our staff that's here. We have Dr. Martin Steele and Laura Grove. Laura's the physician assistant, and Dr. Steele is the pediatrician. They've done a tremendous amount of work. Solomon Johnson is also a St. Mary Parish is a licensed professional counselor. And I wanted to start off with some cold hard facts. You've heard us say that teen pregnancy in Louisiana is high. Well, in 2014, there were 35.5 births per 1,000 females aged 15 to 19 in Louisiana. That's 5,229 babies born to teen mothers. This is significantly higher, twice the rate of the national rate. Why does this matter? Only 38% of teen girls who have a child before age 18 get a high school diploma by age 22. 30% of teens who drop out of school cite pregnancy are parenthood as a reason. Children born to mothers younger than 18 score significantly lower on school readiness tests, including math and reading. And less than 2% of mothers receive a college diploma by age 30 for those teen mothers. Sexually transmitted infections are common among teens in Louisiana. Louisiana ranked number 1 in the United States for primary and secondary syphilis between the ages of 15 and 19 for a total of 51 cases. That's something that we thought we were doing. I trained at a big charity in New Orleans. And, when I was a resident, intern 34 years ago, we did see syphilis, but we almost eradicated that as a sexually transmitted infection. But now it's come back with a vengeance. Louisiana ranked second in the United States for chlamydia, another sexually transmitted illness. We ranked second in the United States for gonorrhea. We ranked second in the United States for HIV/AIDS infection among teens. The parish facts are not too partly uneven. We don't rank at the bottom, but we're kind of in the middle. So those are the cold hard facts. But, behind every statistic here is a story. And I think that's what today's meeting is all about. There's an expression that I'm sure all of you are familiar with. And it goes something like this: no one can help save us, from us, for us, but us. So as the people of St. Mary Parish coming together, listen to the voices of those that are affected. And I would be remiss if I didn't call a bad shout out to the state legislature for what they did not do this past session. There was a bill for the legislature to create a survey instrument so we can get some information from teams. It was a behavioral survey instrument that the CDC recommends. And the legislature failed to act. They rolled it down. Even though the possibility of questioning and getting some vital information from those that are the affected group. How are you going to learn from someone when the person that teaches medicine to do what? Take a history. You take a patient history. So that's why it's critical that this central group of kids can share with us the realities of being in a team in today's society. The challenge is I know he was talking about 40 lines and all. It's like night and day. When this was Park Avenue High School, that one brief time in 5 years that it existed, it was a whole different genre of what today's kids are dealing with. I can't even imagine all the pressures and opportunities of all the social media that's out there today. So I'm delighted to be here. Test Action Clinic. We always choose our middle name, Action. So we stand ready to help in any way that we can with all the resources that we can bring to bear. Just count us in. We'll be here. We've been here for 40 plus years. We intend to be here for as long as the good Lord will have us, and we want to be a part of the solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Wills. Community leadership has really said it all. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and about the organization that I represent. So my name is Marcia Broussard. I'm a native of Franklin, Louisiana. So this whole day and this activity has a lot of special meaning for me, and that I get a chance to do something in my own hometown, in my own parish. The Louisiana Public Health Institute was established in 1997, but it seems like we really got our sea legs just a little bit before Katrina and after. And we really started to do a lot of work around the state. As a matter of fact, we're a regional convener and community health person from LPHI, so this is Keisha Singleton. Amen. Now, Lakeisha has been working on a project. She works on many projects, but one of the main things that LPHI really well known for is our tobacco cessation work. And so, the ads to stop smoking in municipalities and to stop smoking in casinos and so forth. That's one of the main things that we do, but we do a lot of other things as well. Again, around Katrina, we started working on this issue of adolescents, teenagers, their health issues. Interesting thing about young people like we're seeing at the table right now is we don't think of them as ill, in the sense of illness, that they need health care. Because for the most part, they're healthy. But it is true that all of them should have a checkup with their physician, a primary care checkup, at least every other year. Because sometimes there are things going on that you don't know about from a health reason. But the other issue with young people at that age is that from a developmental point of view, they're at the age where they're asking a lot of questions. They're very curious around a lot of things. And they're also at an age, I hope y'all don't mind me talking about you, where they're very excitable. So when they're in a group of other young people, that level of excitement and energy just really raises up. And in situations like that, something else takes over. And it's, it's like maybe we're moving in a group. We're not thinking about the individual. We're not always thinking about consequences. We're thinking about trying this new thing, having some fun, etc. So it's nice that we're surrounding them, because a lot of what this is all about is raising our own awareness and having us recall. And I know it may take a little bit longer for some of you than it does for others, but what it was like to be a teenager and to be faced with all these challenges. The thing that I think we can do most, and you guys, you got it all. You have your Miss Almeida, you have Dr. Phillips, you have your principal.
To begin to drill down to some of these issues, Dr. Hamilton reached out to over 100 individuals in the community and completed 61 assessments with key community leaders, healthcare providers, elected officials, faith-based, community-based organizations, education, law enforcement, and adolescents. All the people that you see sitting here at the table, your community, she reached out and talked to everyone. And this is what we said. So community leaders, I'm sorry you can't see the slide that well, but this is just a word bubble that shows some of the words that really came up during these interviews. And I'm going to give you a moment to take a look at this on the parents about the two big words that showed up there were parents, lab, children, community. These are some of the themes of the verse. So I want to talk just briefly about what There's a lot of change happening in this community in Louisiana, and so one of the things for our parents was this lack of parental involvement, that the parents are working longer hours, the kids are home alone, that there's a lack of quality parent-child interaction. This theme of lack that came up wasn't just around parents, it was also around lack of healthy ideas of spirituality, lack of goals and aspirations. Again, it was changing landscape where we need to find a pathway through. This lack of role models in the community, lack of quality, credible, structured programs, lack of exposure to a variety of experiences, lack of economic opportunities, lack of public transportation. But one of the things also that some of the speakers that we were talking about was also this change in the community in the past helped to raise children, and that isn't happening. One person elderly said, the community has a hands-off approach when it comes to our children. It takes a village to raise a child, but the residents of the village are leading the way. And that role models are what kids see on TV, but there are positive role models in the community, but kids don't get to see and interact with them. And the technology is widening the gap between parents and children. But what also emerged out of the data was this disconnection. And so I wanted to show the slide. I'm sorry if you can't see the back, but I really wanted to show here was the difference in what youth were saying as opposed to community leaders. So the youth were saying that they want more involvement with community leaders and parents, and have people come to talk to them, to mentor them. They want more parental support. And then in the assessments, what we were hearing was that adolescents and young people are not participating in programs, that it's a lack of parental support, transportation, that there's a duplication of services, there's a lack of individual resources, and also a lack of confidentiality when we do reach out. And you were saying that they want kids to have off the streets, that they want to have things to do after hours, that there should be more programs, and they want to see year-round programs. But on the other side, the community is saying that there's a lack of resources and funding, and that many of the programs that are out there tend to either focus on high performers or are membership-based, which have that economic component, but not all families and youth can afford to participate in. So what I see here is, even though there's this disconnection, there's an opportunity to come together to have a common dialogue. So, in the community assessments, community leaders were asked what some of the main health issues were. And again, we saw this lack of parents following up, but we also saw mental health come up repeatedly. Stress, anxiety, depression among students, peer pressure, bullying, creating a lot of stress on students, students being seen as machines to take tests and not as individuals. And this idea that the social media and the internet were exposing children to things that they weren't seeing previously, that was desensitizing them, that was exposing them to things like cyberbullying, sexting, other things, and that they was putting them in perilous spaces because they didn't necessarily have the maturity to understand what they were being exposed to. And the other issue that came up, the other theme that emerged was STIs and teen pregnancy. Being sexually active, healthy living was one that emerged, obesity or dietary habits, lack of physical activity. So, to contrast that, this is what you said were the big issues that they felt that they were facing, their main health issues, and they're not that off what communities say. Obesity, healthy eating, hygiene, anger management, teen pregnancy, and depression. And they went in quite a bit about this, that they felt a lot of stress, and that lack of motivation, that they didn't really have support systems, that they didn't feel that they necessarily had respect, that they wanted acceptance, and that there was, they felt a lack of compassion. So youth and community leaders were asked about access to health information and services. And so this is what youth said, that they could go to the school clinic if something was broke, they could wrap it up, that they could go to the school nurse, and that she could give them a peppermint, that they could go to the college health unit, which offered free HIV testing, that they could go to the emergency room and only if it was bad, that they could go to the internet, TV, and social media if they wanted to get information, that they could go to their mom, but if they had a problem, they weren't necessarily going to go to her, that they could go to their grandmother and their friends. For them, it was about going to trusted sources. It was not necessarily that these trusted sources had reliable information, but they needed to be trusted sources. And community leaders identified really touch action, the school-based health center at St. Mary and North City Health Unit as the primary areas where kids went to get both information and health services. And so we asked both youth and community leaders about the challenges and barriers to reproductive health care. And so I'm going to break down the list for those of you who can't see it. But for youth, we identified money, insurance, transportation, but then they identified issues of embarrassment, misinformation, fear, pride, peer pressure, and confidentiality. And community leaders really identified parents as a barrier, that there was a lack of parental involvement, a lack of parental education and community skills, or flat out denial, that there was a failure on the part of youth to necessarily recognize the problem. There was a lack of knowledge of how to access resources, again, transportation, and a limited ability of medical providers to discuss reproductive health with adolescents, and this idea of legal limitations to what they could say, or couldn't say, what they could do, or what they couldn't do. So this is what some of the youth said, that they don't know where to go, or they're scared because they're scared of being judged, that everybody knows, so everyone talks, that there's a lack of confidentiality, so I go out here in parish or work at city or anonymous, and the kids are not just comfortable discussing issues with parents, and because of the internet, they feel they know more than their parents. And so we asked the youth, what would be the ideal way to get health information services? And so the first thing they said was, I'd like to get information from my mom or my parents, and I'd like to get encouragement from them. They're the source that I want to go to. And I want someone in the medical field to take time to inform me. And I want people to come in and talk to me about health topics. And I want to be able to go to my doctor, but I also wanted to start in my school, at the school-based health center, or the school nurse. But I want privacy and confidentiality. I don't want people to talk about me. I want to know that you're a trusted source. And I want responsiveness, and I want compassion, and I want empathy. And so we asked them, if there's anything that can be done to improve health and knowledge of teens, what would it be? And the first thing they said was sex education everywhere. And we're adamant on this. That they wanted to see peer-to-peer programs, like Teen Chat programs, the Health Ambassador Team, mentoring, having people come in and talk about real issues. that each school should have a clinic or school nurse that can provide more comprehensive sex ed, that they wanted to see awareness raised in the community, and they wanted a parent training, while their parents talk to them. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hamilton. Unless anyone.
Thank you. So where do we go from here? I just want to reiterate that the Louisiana Public Health Institute started with their work in Orleans Parish, they did a little bit of work in Washington Parish, and now they're here in StMaryParish. And if you recall, when I spoke to you, I said this is an opportunity for us to show the state of Louisiana how we can take a rural southern community and make an example for the state of how and show how we can come together at grassroots level and work to help and save our kids. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here today and a rare opportunity. I want to say, if you see some people that are not here, it was amazing when I reached out. The police chief, I talked to all the chiefs of all the different communities. The council members, some of them couldn't be here because of vacations, some other reasons this morning. There's some things happening, some of our police chiefs couldn't be here this morning. But look around and who's here. Oh, there's Coach. He got here. He was so excited about this opportunity. The people, like I call him Mayor Frank, because I always feel his last name from Garden City. You know, we chatted. We had a great time on the phone with Mr. David, with some of the council members, with Ms. Almisha, with Mr. Williams, with Commander Arrington, with Ms. Betty Mello, who wears several hats, depending on what's going on. These are the people that are interested in working on something. What will their something look like? Well, we'll figure this out in just a second. I do want to say I have a special guest here. You all remember Mr. Reggie Corral, who started the Save Our Youth. Well, I'm sure Ms. Normandy, he would stand up, because she said she was wondering how this would go on. So I hope Mr. Reggie is smiling down today on this community at this point, that we are hoping to pick up the gauntlet and move forward. Now, not only did we, as they showed you in the data, that I talked to you individually, I talked to our adolescents and young adults to get their input. And I think if you see this picture, it's saying next to our with pictures, we don't even see that very often. Now, so we have a contest that's going on. We always see such negative stuff on the internet. Well, we're going to try to crash the internet with something positive. It's not about showing somebody's backside. We really, before you scatter, our youth have a contest. They're going to take pictures with you, and they're going to post it to Facebook and Twitter and Twitter and wherever it is they have. And the one that had the most posts, we got prizes. We have 6 types of contests. We want this community to start posting positive things, images of our adolescents and young adults, working with our leaders to come up with a solution. Okay? So everybody agree? We're going to hang around with some pictures taken after this? All right. We want to thank Tash Talk and 5.9, the Breeze for being here, and Danica Foley from KWJ for taking this, and also showing that this is an important issue. So these are some of the things that you all said you were interested in seeing happen as we try to move forward. So on your table, you have a form that says feedback questionnaire. If you would please start working on filling it out and showing your area, showing your area of interest and expertise, any questions or concerns you might have, and then look at this list and select the top 3 areas that we should work on. A lot of people, as I talked to you, had great programs scattered throughout the parish, but there's this county cut, the great divide, and so we didn't know what the other people were doing. So having some type of inventory, Mayor Frank suggested, and a couple of others, so that we would know what was going on in the parish. I was talking to the principal at Hanson, she couldn't be here, she's going on vacation, and there's a summer program over there. I didn't know about it, because she was saying we had some way to get that around that we had this program, would be great. So, some of the other ideas for the kids is peer-to-peer, having someone close to their age that can talk to them about certain issues. Having role models come to talk to them. The other thing I suggested was, by the kids was, parents having, for a lot of the community organizations and faith-based organizations that have Bible study, teen chat, etc., we have volunteers who have great hearts, like me, but may not be comfortable in having this discussion with the kids in our church and community. So there are options that can come in and help us feel more comfortable, train us in how to have that conversation. And also from legal authorities, I'm not going to talk about it, I'm going to be sued. So it educates us in all aspects, how to do it, what you can and cannot do. That's another option. We want to continue to meet, so we're going to try to do some technology, so you can just come in, you can call in, Skype in, and we can continue this discussion based on the reason we set up in community education business, is so you can look around the table and put down who else needs to be here. Because what happened, the more I talk to people, you all identify more people who should have been at the table, and the list kept growing, and finally I said, Marcia, I was retired, this is not what I signed on for. And you kept growing, which was great. So please include anybody that you don't see here that we need to reach out to include. If you have a phone number or email, that's great. We have an intern from our area that's creating a database for us using the technology because I do not understand it. So we'll be able to reach out to you and continue this communication. Now, we know a lesson learned was kind of started this late. It was just supposed to be a survey, and sent to the community forum, and maybe some programming out of this and services. This time, we appreciate a lot of people on vacation. Bible schools started this week in some churches. So, the future will, as we move this model out, hopefully to other parishes. Timing is important. So we appreciate your time. I know where's Stephen Ash? We must have played tag trying to have something on the east of the parish for a good 2 months. So if they're busy with dance and then there's graduation and parties, and so please, as you fill this out, we're going to have our young people come to the tables and make sure we expect 30 or 40 people. I counted 86 people here. Please make sure you sign in and have your email address and a phone number so we can say we did better than Washington Parish officially. Okay, make sure you sign in. Take some time to chat, fill out your form. Bethany and Maya, if you can have our young leaders, our young leaders, because they're taking the time to be here. As you fill them out, we'll give you 10 minutes to fill that out. If you have any comments, questions, please keep it to 1 minute so that everybody who may want to say something can say something. I see Craig has his hand. Council member.
I told Ms. Gail I wanted to make sure everybody hears some questions, so I'm in the light. Maybe we're not going to do so. I have a estimated portion of the question and the comment. I think that there's a combination that is in order for Dr. Gale and Dr. Russo for all the work that she's done to bring us all here today. And let's give them a round of applause for this. The reason for my question/comment is I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned that we don't leave this gathering today with the wealth of human resources that we have in this room. Human capital, I think is what you referred to as earlier. So that this conversation does not stop today. It is critical that this conversation continues because as we've all been able to see from some of the slides, the comments or the perceptions that is necessary to move towards tangible results and outcomes is if we continue this dialogue going forward. That it seems to me, as I've contributed through various components of our local government, the nonprofit sector, the for-profit private sector, that there are some systemic challenges within the way that government operates in secondary parish law. Since we're in secondary, I have to talk about secondary. There are systemic challenges in the way that many of us do our work. And it's not to say that it's deliberate or to point the finger at anybody. I won't give any examples because I know that some people are going to be offended if I do. And I don't want to come across that way. But I think if we can continue this dialogue in a setting that is appropriate for us to exchange in this conversation, in this dialogue, that we perhaps may be able to derive and some of the challenges that can be modified, some of the systemic things that we've been doing the same way for so many years can be addressed and modified in an appropriate way so that we can move toward the results that our young people are deserving of, because believe it does go beyond just the health aspect of what we're talking about today, the teen pregnancy, the STDs, and what have you. But some of the other challenges that our young people are facing are so problematic that I think these things that we talk about, teen pregnancy and STDs, are merely a byproduct of a larger problem. So I would hope that there's some format in place so that we can discuss or allude to today, so that as we transition out of this room, that these conversations won't stop. I'm telling you that, and I've said this to Dr. Gale, I'm committed to doing everything in my power, not only as an elected official, but as a parent, as an advocate for our young people, to see that this conversation continues. And not just so that we have something to talk about and point fingers at one another, but so that we can work together to identify real solutions that these young people can be successful going forward.
Craig said something that kind of hit a nerve to me. He didn't give an example of what he was saying because he was wanting to not hurt someone's feelings. You guys, we've got to put our feelings under. We've got to stop thinking about our feelings. We need to think about our children's feelings. What our world's going to be like in 12, 15 years. What's their world like now? We can't keep thinking about our feelings, being politically correct. We need to move on from the past. We need to create a future. And we need to put those feelings down.
And by the way, again, if you look at the change, these were made on the tables, these were created by kids in the summer programs, talking about their hopes and aspirations. And you can see, as Darlene alluded to, when we were talking about this, she said the foundation is broken. They're out of sync, they're not connected. We have got to reconnect these various components and connect our children with faith in business and education and law enforcement and military. It's up to us to do that. So please don't let the symbolism escape you today. Now, Bethany, this young lady saw us posting something, and I know you want to come up and I want you just to say, she's 24, she has a 3-year-old. But she got involved because of her concern to make sure that some of the things she experienced did not happen to other youth.
That are sitting
they think that we just toss them aside. Let's show them a round of applause that we are here for them, and it's not going to happen on our watch. Today is a new day. Okay? So while you're all standing, you get your. It's my classmate here. Oh, I was going to tell them to start taking their pictures and start collecting the forms from everybody in the audience, so they know people have to get back to work. So here's a big picture so we can crash the internet with something positive and not somebody's problem. So I just want to be clear that this is the beginning. It's not just a big day of speeches. And we will be asking you, based on the feedback that you put on the paper, to get back together and get to work. So let's just be clear. I'm looking at the 4th of July holiday as you get ready to go back to your offices. I'm looking at the Tuesday after the 4th of July 12th and July 24th. Because I know everybody in this room is going to be focused in August on back to school. Okay, so put those dates down. July, and I'll let you know where, for July 12th, lunchtime, July 24th. We're going to come back and we're going to develop a plan. We may even have some training in between that, but at least we're going to have this coalition, this connection, Project Connect. We're going to start reconnecting these chains in our community. Start getting these columns built more in. Thank you.